Disclaimer: the following Boundless PodTrap episode contains strong opinions that some listeners may and will find offensive. If you cannot accept or respect others with a differing opinion from yours, then fuck off.
Rolling sound.
I like turtles.
Shush! Oh! Let me see your war face.
Now, y'all ain't planning on fucking these chickens, are you?
Picture it. Sicily, 1920.
Aren't we fucking funny?
Streaming from the Midwest, right in the middle of the U.S. From Omaha, Nebraska, you're listening to the Boundless PodTrap, your entertainment podcast where we touch on all topics, from the crazy and absurd to the sacred and profane, and even the useless and unnecessary. The Boundless PodTrap knows no bounds. And now, here are your hosts.
It is episode 9. Ladies and gentlemen, we are glad you're with us today, whatever day it may be that you're listening to this. I am your lead host tonight, Jeremy, along with Justin and Lonnie.
What's up? Hello.
You seem down, Lonnie.
Hello.
Oh, never mind.
Bring it back up, bitches.
I was just going to ask him what's wrong, but nothing, apparently. So
That's a crescendo, for those who don't know.
a crescendo?
A crescendo.
Man,
A crescendo?
takes me back to my band days. Even though I don't claim to be in band, I was in drumline.
That's banned.
You're just a nerd with a whole bunch of other nerds. Nerd.
I was the cool nerd
Sure.
who could keep a beat going.
That's what the nerds all say. They think they're the cool nerd.
When did
That's
we-
just 9 nerds all
When
thinking
did
they're
we
cool.
flip around? Like, I remember, 80s, nerds were a bad label, but now it's like, it's cool to be a nerd.
I think it was like 2006 or 2007 that switched over.
Yeah,
Like
so,
whenever
like,
the Big Bang Theory got popular.
I remember around that time is like when the nerd thing started coming about, people were wearing like all those and that just annoyed the fuck out of me. Wearing like those lensless glasses and stuff like that. It's like you're just wearing glasses for no reason. There's no lens in there.
It's like fuck you. Like
yeah. Some
it
people
was
have
hard to have
issues.
this shitty of
I'm not
eyes.
gonna walk around with crutches just for fashion. Like that's
Some people do. They walk around with crutches to steal money from the government.
well, that's not for fashion. That they have an
If you steal money from the government, do it the right way and be an anarchist.
yeah.
All right, we're starting this episode off strong. I know. So
Let's bring it back down.
yeah,
Got too excited. Now I gotta pace it back down.
I was excited because this episode drops. It's Monday. What's the date today? Monday the 28th.
Somethingist.
But obviously it's not the 28th as we're recording this. I was excited to talk about our first weekend of filming for Shorty Films, but
That was awesome. Nothing went
that's-
wrong.
Not a single thing wrong.
Nothing
One
went-
take on everything.
Nothing
We didn't
burned
even need to
down.
do a safety.
you guys even jinx it. Like this.
We can't knock on the table because it's glass. And I know because Justin has a huge boner.
Nice.
Yeah. Why we told you this? Like we can see through the table, so
I think that's why he is erect.
he's still. Yeah. So I never understood quite why that sound effect was in reference to a boner. A boner didn't go boing.
Well, it's kind of. Is it more like the doorstop that?
Yeah, but that's like not like. That's not.
I don't know why that got me of all things.
That's not like what your wiener looks like when it gets erect. It doesn't go like
Speak
fly all
for
over the place.
yourself.
Like a little
That-
jack in the box, straight out the box.
But a Jack in the Box doesn't make that noise either. So
Well, I sing to mine. That's what makes it pop out.
whenever I hear that song, that sound, it makes me think of the song "Summer Lovin' from Grease." When one of the guys goes to Danny, he's like, "Can she get me a friend?" And then he takes his comb and flicks him, like Kaneki flicks him, and the comb goes boing. It's just like, why?
It's like the teeth. Yeah, I don't.
How does that door stopper sound go again? Well, we know how to break Lonnie now with that.
I have power.
So,
I can break you with my
Damn.
mouth.
are you,
My flawless record of not smiling and or laughing has been ruined.
yes. So you guys enjoying these cool fall weather that's starting to approach? And
It's like it's fucking 90. What cool weather have you been part of?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into the fall mood, gentlemen.
Don't
Stand up and I'll fucking drip you.
get the fuck out of here with that pumpkin spice. No.
It's wishful thinking. I wish it was fall weather.
They're taking Halloween away from us. There's nothing to look forward to.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you honestly think that the rebels in this world are going to listen?
Well, they're not going to be wearing masks, so I don't want to be anywhere close to them.
In a country of law-abiding citizens.
Yeah. Tell that to the dumbass lady that was on my work today that didn't have a mask on. I approached her and I'm like, ma'am, I was like, do you have a mask to put on? She's like, I have a medical condition. I don't have to wear a mask, and I'm not wearing a mask. And I was just like, well, we require one in this store.
What if her medical condition kind of has...
The medical condition is called being a bitch.
Oh, no.
You know, the people who listen to this podcast aren't 3. They can spell.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it. She was a bitch, and she was basically
they're ignorant.
Basically. But yeah, I'm just sick of people using that as an excuse. I have a medical condition. You know what? Shove your medical condition up your asshole.
My medical condition doesn't allow me to breathe correctly with a mask on. It's called COVID.
Yeah. So. But anyways, no, I was trying to get us in the fall mood, Lonnie.
I'm sorry. It's very fallish outside.
Football.
F football.
What?
F
you know
it.
what I wanted to do? See, I wanted to take a picture because they have like the cardboard cutouts, and I wanted to get a cardboard cutout of myself, and cardboard cutout of security, and like on a little zip line straight across the field, so I can do my cardboard cutout streaking around like the halftime part or whatever, and then I can have like this is probably more relevant to like soccer. Do they streak much in football? I don't think they do.
Well, no, because usually they get tackled by security.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know if anyone's dumb enough to get tackled by football security,
especially in the fall.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm a grower, not a shower.
Anyways, so you want to have a cardboard cutout of yourself streaking?
Yes, that would be fantastic.
So we got you naked on camera once. Now you want everyone to see you naked multiple times.
So we should link that video in
Hallmark
the description of this to the Hallmark commercial that we shot last week.
We shot that, and I was driving home thinking of all the continuation Hallmark commercials we need to make.
Oh yeah, we can make so many from this, and everyone's going to involve Justin being naked.
Oh damn.
At least with your cock out.
No, he had a sock on that looked like a mitten.
The weirdest sock I've ever
It was a tabby
seen.
sock. Yeah, it was my ninja shoes socks. You know.
Oh,
that were on his feet that he pulled off to put on his cock.
I just took a shower.
Which didn't make sense because it's like you had no shame being naked in the shower when we filmed it. And
No. Oh,
was it all of Lonnie's giggling?
How do you expect me not to giggle? I'm holding a light in the middle of a fucking shower while my friend is taking a shower, deadpan face, like he's just seen a ghost.
While your other friend is filming
it. Yeah. If anybody walks in at that point, it's like, sign these 3 boys up for Grindr.
I would have a lot better luck on there than I do Tinder.
Someone tried to sign you up, but you refused.
I know it.
So many hits.
Someday. I don't know. Well, anything new with you guys? I mean, we spend a lot of time together these days, so
this is true.
It's I feel like these are questions that your wives would ask you. So what's new with you these days? I haven't seen you in 3 days.
Listen to the podcast.
Ooh.
Oh, wife.
You PTCH. What's new?
I'll be moving locations for my trabajo.
Yeah, so, you'll be over in this area. We're recording on location again tonight, at our producer Michael's place. Next episode 2 is going to be on location, but episode 11 we'll be back at the original studio.
We should also tease that next episode is going to be more of a video.
It is, and you guys, I thought
Do we
I was
finally get to know about it.
You will know. I figured I'm going to tell you guys
Jesus
what
Christ.
our present is
during this podcast.
During this podcast.
Finally.
Do you guys want to know now?
No.
Or do you want to wait till the end?
Because you're going to tell us we're going to be so excited we won't be able to do this fucking episode.
What if it ruins everything?
Pitter patter. Let's get on with this fucking episode.
What if our friendship disintegrates?
So we want to. Lonnie said it. Let's do it. We're moving on to our first segment tonight, which is a movie review, a documentary review.
So fucking good.
So we had the pleasure of seeing, the three of us saw this documentary together over at a good friend of ours, Chuck Martin's house. This guy, I mean, man, he's like 3-0 with documentaries that he's suggested that I've watched.
But no sex at all.
Yeah, no sex. But we saw the documentary. It was a 2017 documentary called At the Drive-In, which was directed by Alexander Monelli. Am I saying that correctly, Justin? Monelli?
Sounds about right.
Okay.
You have to say it with more of your fingers.
Alexander Monelli.
With più di musica.
Paco. But anyways, this is it's about one of the last remaining drive-in movie theaters called the Mahoning Drive-In, located in Pennsylvania. Now, I'll give a quick synopsis. It was with drive-in movies no longer a thing throughout the world. This documentary follows one in particular, the Mahoning Drive-In, and their struggles to stay afloat with movies no longer being made on 35mm film. And being unable to purchase a new $50,000 digital projector, playing only old classics, the staff of the Mahoning have to make their upcoming season successful in order to stay afloat. With everyone there working for free, this documentary shows how a close-knit work family works tirelessly to keep their home away from home alive and running. Will they be able to make enough off of just playing classics to keep the business running? Or will this drive-in become a relic of the past like so many other drive-in movie theaters have? Yeah, we all were in agreement after we watched this documentary that, I mean, there were just so many feelings. We all were jealous of all the people that are working at the Mahoning Drive-In, that they're able to work and just have so much fun together and make it seem like a family. Did you say you did?
I wasn't jealous. It's, for me, I think it was more, do you know how you feel nostalgic about something, but like having memories you've never had before? That's kind of how it felt with that. It's like, holy shit, like, I remember that. I was there.
Yeah.
But I was not there.
I have that, like, falling in love with a woman. Never happened with me.
Mom?
No, yeah, it took me back to the days when I went to the drive-in.
Right.
We used to have one over in Council Bluffs, and back in 2006, I think, was when that shut down or something.
Yeah, around there.
But yeah, definitely brought all those emotions back, and it makes you miss it. Like, it's just such a neat atmosphere to be at a drive-in, and to think that they're not really around much anymore, but supposedly they're going to start making comebacks.
Yeah, especially in the COVID era. Yeah, the Council Bluffs Drive-In had a special place in my heart. Just driving in there, tuning the radio to the radio station that you could play the broadcast came through, and hoping your car wouldn't die for having to be running the whole time. Pull it in there with that special somebody, Justin. Sorry, Jeremy.
I'll be in the trunk. Sneak me in the trunk.
Yeah, that was the thing, like piling people in the trunk or under blankets so you could get in for cheaper, pay for one, sneak in six.
Well, and the main guy that was running the drive-in, it was Jeff Maddox, older gentleman. He was a projectionist. Is that what they call it?
And that's a dying field, because I was a manager at an AMC theater, and just the magnitude of things that are optimal and computerized now. Like, you literally enter the codes of movies on a computer, set the dates, and that's it. That's all you do.
My whole experience is ruined.
Sorry.
Well, that's kind of like
life.
That's kind of like what Jeff says in the movie. Is he's like, it's a dying breed, and he's just like, you're not working with the projectors anymore. And he's like, some projectors, nobody has to even run it.
Right.
You set a timer and it plays automatically.
Yeah,
but
the most you do for electric or automatic projectors now, like you change the bulbs maybe once every 900 hours to 1,500 hours. Like I said, you've got to make the schedule every week or two, but you don't even do it on those. You do it on your computer that's linked to everything.
And you just wait for an audience member to come complain saying the bulb's out or something?
Not even that. Like it'll ping to your email and say, hey, the bulb's getting bad.
I don't check my email, so.
Yeah, right.
We know that. I don't know why I said that.
But the thing I took most from the documentary was the family aspect of the crew. Like there was the people who've been there forever. There was the new kids. There was the management.
Was its name Ryan?
Robert. Fucking Robert.
Yeah, no, like the family, like to feel like it was a family is the best thing, because it's like kind of what our main topic's going to be about tonight. Like I work for a mom and pop store, and that's the feeling you get there. You don't feel like you're an employee.
Right.
You feel like you're a member of the family, and everybody you work with is like family members too. But, and you know, some of them like even they stay because it's like Thursday through Sunday is their weekend for business. They don't have movies Monday through Wednesday. So it's like some of them.
Yeah, like it started off about 2 or 3 of the people would sleep overnight for the weekend since it's a long drive back, but they kind of develop this camaraderie, like, you know, this is what we do, this is us, and we're doing it for the community. You know, people that not only do the workers, you know, stay, but some of the people camp out, and you know, they make long trips just to catch every single weekend viewing.
Right.
Well, there's that one guy that works there, and he drives like, it takes him like about 6 to 7 hours every week to get there, and he's like, and he doesn't even get paid, and he is the cashier there.
Right.
And
it sounds like he's getting paid.
Yeah.
Well, you got like shitty $1 hot dogs and
Well, when you're the cashier, you can pay yourself. So.
That's what Jeff said. It's like if he can have all the free food he wants if he comes from like 6 hours away. But I think another cool thing about that was Jeff's business partners, 2 younger gentlemen, Virgil and Matt, who I believe it was Matt who was driving, and there was like a backup, and he took an alternate route, and that's how he stumbled across the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. He saw the marquee, and he thought, oh, it's an abandoned drive-in, and then he went there, and it's like, no, it's still running. And then Jeff invited him in, and they talked for like an hour or so, and it's neat because it's like these 2, Virgil and Matt, have the passions that Jeff has. You know, Jeff's getting older, and you know, I'm assuming, they don't really say in the documentary that, but I'm assuming Jeff's going to probably teach Matt or somebody to run the old projectors so they can still have 35 millimeter ones. But you know, the whole thing at the end, which again, spoilers in these, is they kind of cheated the system at the end with how they figured out how they can play new movies, old movies, without having to spend $50,000 on a projector.
That's science.
And that's just a product of ingenuity, like being able to save your butt.
Yeah.
And the most fascinating thing I took from that whole thing is I don't think that place would exist if it wasn't for everybody there. And that sounds like a really dumb
like all the regulars
statement.
And stuff. And
well, just the staff itself. Yeah. I think if 1 or 2 people of that staff weren't there, it wouldn't exist. Like, they have to rely so much on the whole unit to make it work. It's just such a strong organism together. Well, like, losing 1 or 2 key members of that place, it wouldn't exist. So it's so amazing watching the hive mind of that place. It's so beautiful. And I don't use that word often, only for a couple things.
I think everybody brings something to the table too. I mean, like, you have the smarts and will of what's his name? Was it Jeff?
Jeff.
And then with
Virgil,
he's just the motivator, like,
with the most infectious laugh you've ever heard. So
anytime he's out, like, he's just a jolly guy. Like,
he is.
And even with all the hardships that kind of like peered into his life, is like, man, even with everything that's going around, you know, like, you know, they had a miscarriage, but they continued at the end. It seemed like they tried again and had but
which this was shot back in 2016. So that would have been 4 years ago that this was shot, and I mean, it's still going strong.
For a documentary, it's kind of, I mean, like you don't even have to view it like a documentary. It's a movie in itself. There's like this plot or whatever, you know, like to get the projector to work at the end, and you know, I found that.
Well, yeah,
do it.
Yeah, well, and it's just like how they stumbled across that. So basically,
they had no time too.
Basically, the solution is they got 3 basic projectors. They stacked them on top of each other, and then they lined up the images right on top of each other. So it was like
enhancing the picture.
And it was Matt, and I forget the guy that's like the cook there. Forget his name. I apologize if they are listening to this. But they
wasn't a character.
They one night when they were spending the night there, they just thought they had a small projector in the lobby to play VHS tapes during intermission, and they thought, you know what, let's take it outside and let's see if it fills the screen. And lo and behold, it did. It was very dim. So then it was like,
maybe we can get some more power to it.
They had a night. It was Bite Night. It was it Jurassic Park and Jaws?
Park and Jaws, yeah.
And the last minute, the company couldn't send out the Jaws, so they had to think on their feet, and that's when Matt thought, hey,
I have to do digital.
If we do digital and I stack 2 projectors on top of each other and match up the thing, and man, it worked. And I mean, talk about like, I don't want to say luck, but just talk about, you know, having because I know what it's like to be like tired in the middle of the night and you have goofy ideas, but to think that goofy idea of taking a small projector to fill a big drive-in theater screen and it worked, holy cow. I mean, that saved them. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that saved them like $35,000 in the end, probably. Right. And it's like now they can play, like they were saying, they could play VHS, whatever can hook up to those projectors. Right. You can play whatever, so.
You can play stuff off of your cell phone. You can play video games if you wanted to.
The planning, and because they displayed like the board, their schedule here and there, and I mean, like looking at this, it makes it seem like it's, you know, early '90s or mid '90s, whatever. But they're playing a lot of new movies, and they have like all these ideas, and people are coming out and dressing up, and they're making it more of a happening type of thing. They're workshopping it as a community, very natural.
Yeah, the theme nights just, it's not done enough.
Right.
Like the uber nerd in me is like seeing the board of theme nights, and I'm like, we're going to fucking Pennsylvania.
Like, when you go to the theater, when you go to the actual theater around here and you see somebody dressing up like Joker or something, and it's like, does it turn you off, or are you like, right on, man?
No, I love it. I dig it. I'll purposely go sit by that guy, because you know they're going to have the most fun ever. It's like when they made the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, of course, I was wearing a Freddy sweater, and so was another dude. And I went and sat by him, so we were both upset. Rather than us be upset in different corners of the theater, we were upset in our own little block.
Movie. Awesome movie.
Well, that was
watch your tongue, mister.
That was the thing, too. It's like, you know, having gone to horror movie conventions, and then also being a manager at a haunted house here in town, those theme nights, especially like when they had like the Camp Crystal Lake Friday the 13th theme nights, you really could just sense it. Like when you were watching the people there, like you could feel that cold, crisp fall air. You could smell like the food being prepped and bonfires and stuff like that. So it's like this documentary really touched on all your senses.
Right.
And, you know, you actually were rooting for them to make it. And I mean, yeah, you said something there, Lonnie. I think that we should take a road trip out there sometime.
I'd love it, yeah.
And just for a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we should just stay for a whole weekend.
Sleep in a tent, and whatever comes on, comes on.
Yeah, so that's on a scale from 1 to 10 with this documentary, gentlemen, with 10 being the best, what would you...
I gotta stop you real quick, because we have to address the elephant in the room before we grade this movie.
It's Michael. Don't call him an elephant.
And it's gonna degrade my answer a little bit. And I think both of you are looking at me because you know what I'm going to bring up. And that elephant is Robert.
I actually liked Robert. It's like he has that sort of, I guess it's Mitch Hedberg would put it. It's like he's like pancakes. He's all exciting at first, but by the end you're sick of him. But it's like you kind of go back for that. It's like, and I know it's too many people like that who like you feel maybe like, yeah, just drop this guy or whatever and move on. But it's like, no, but he's part of us. He's integral.
I know a lot of Roberts.
I know a plethora of Roberts
at my work especially, and I think the one scene in particular that really I could really relate to is when Robert's at the concession stands and Matt is checking him out and Robert's going on. You can just see Matt's just like,
he signed out so long
and it's
ago.
just like, there's so many times I do that at my work because so many people that are regulars that come in, because I've been at my job for like almost 15 years, and it's like you see the same people all the time, and it's like they always come in and they're always talking, and it's just like, give us
your best Robert impression.
Me?
Yeah, go for it.
Gosh, I don't know, man.
Talk about a movie or a series.
No. Because that's making fun of him,
everybody knows
and I'm
that.
I'm not
here to make
making fun of him.
No.
I think
I didn't bring up
him.
Robert to make fun of Robert.
See, I love
which is
Robert.
what I think you two are insinuating I was going to do. I was actually going to praise Robert.
This guy was pissed off at Robert when we were watching.
When we were watching
he
it,
was
yes,
throwing
I was
popcorn at
irritated at Robert. All the popcorn I got. Don't you bring up popcorn, mister. I'm eating 5 fucking buckets of popcorn.
I ate it, though.
You did. That's the problem, Mr. Fasting.
Why wasn't fasting then?
You're never fasting.
You always say you're fasting, and all you do is eat fast.
You got
I'm
a
always
freaking like
peanut butter and
protein
jelly
bar on the table here, like you eat healthy.
I gotta feed my muscles.
Well, anyway,
I was carb loading.
Shut up. You have muscles. We don't. I get it.
Anyway, so the reason I bring up Robert, it was, yes, at first watching the movie, something about Robert, he just scraped away at my brain pan. I just couldn't deal with him. But after a couple of days, he is integral for that business.
Right. I feel like
he is probably the #1 promoter of that business.
Yeah.
Because as much as he talks to that business, I bet he talks about that business to everybody.
It's like when you go to these drive-ins, you're there for like the experience. So it's like watching this, seeing the people, like if you finish a movie and you're like, but you don't feel as wholesome as you probably would. You're like, something's missing. Like, where the fuck is Robert?
Right.
I feel like kind of robbed if Robert wasn't there.
Right. But yeah, as much as like a bad experience can affect your business, I guarantee that dude, like he goes and sees a good movie at the drive-in, he's like, yeah, I just seen blah, blah, blah at the drive-in. And he tells fucking 30 people, because I bet 29 people
I don't
walk
think he
away
would get
from
past
him.
3 people, though.
No, he's going to hunt down.
He's a human.
My dad's that same way.
He's a human Wikipedia.
He'll go to a bar and there'll be 30 people in there and he'll sit and talk to all 30 of those people because they'll make the mistake to sit by him. And he does that quarter turn, hey, how you doing? But yeah, at first, man, that fucking guy. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, I wish they had 2 Roberts.
No, okay, let's not.
Okay.
They talk to each other and they cancel each other out.
All right. Well, the only thing I'll be disappointed is if he has a girlfriend and I don't. All right. So scale 1 to 10, 10 being the best. What do you guys rank At the Drive-In documentary?
I rank the At the Drive-In 9.8 projectors.
Okay. It's pretty good.
I'm going to say 9 because I thought Chuck was going to be in it, and that's what I was waiting for.
No, me too. I did too. I think I'm going to go. I was going to go 9.5.
It's a near perfect.
The only reason I'm not giving it the full 10 is because even though it made up for it in the end, it did sadden me that Virgil and his wife had a miscarriage in it, and so that 0.5 was taken away for that sad thing that had to happen to them. So I think, so At the Drive-In, definitely check it out. It's on Amazon Prime for free if you want to check it out there. I believe that's the only streaming service you can see it on, or you can buy it too. I do plan on buying it to help support.
Actually, before you see it free on Amazon Prime, just buy the thing. Support them.
Yes.
Support the director. Put some money in their pocket right now because during COVID, everybody could use a little bit more support. So
I mean, they're actually
fuck Amazon. They don't need your money.
I don't know with COVID going on if they're even open, but they should. They're approaching the end of their season. It's the end of October when their season ends.
So is it like a 6 to 8 week straight?
No, it's from like May to October. But I guess they are.
It's just that our producer has got word.
Ooh, so they're this upcoming weekend. It's Weekend of Terror there. The 25th through the 27th. And then the following weekend, that would be a fun one, Night of the Living Dead. Oh, no, Tunnel Vision Tuesday. So they're open on a Tuesday. But, wow. Man, their lineup here is pretty, there we go. We got to go to...
What is it? Tell us.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and 3 with Bill Moseley there live. Coming up.
When's that date?
What did you say?
November
1st. Man, might have to take a trip out there.
I'd say we could probably make that.
Heck yeah. 17-hour drive, boys. We're doing it. My job would...
Is that what we're doing? Is that what our on-site...
You guys drive 17 hours. I'll take Spirit Airlines.
I can't
meet you there in 3.
I can't chance driving 17 hours for it to be completely sold out because I'm sure it will be with those 2 movies and Bill Moseley there. So that's right there tells me right now they're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's great news to hear.
We'll get that list and we'll post it or a link to the list.
Yes.
So you guys can see it. Check them out.
All right, so in the theme of a drive-in movie theater and theaters and stuff like that, that moves us on to our next topic here, gentlemen. It's entitled "The Evolution/De-Evolution of the Cinematic Experience." Now, I'll kind of explain a little bit of what I'm talking about. So, obviously, back in the 80s, 90s, when a movie came out, and you went to the movie theater to see it, and
Did you
all
say
that
theater
stuff.
Or theater?
Theater.
Theater.
The experience and the promoting of it was a lot different than it is nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
And I personally think that the cinematic experience is no longer there.
Absolutely
It's all about
not.
making a quick buck and making quantity over quality. But so let me kind of give you an example. Let's talk about what the movie experience used to be like.
I feel like anybody can have a camera now and be a director, but back then you used to have like certain directors, with names like, wow, that dude. But now anybody who works at a Halloween department.
By the way, we are starting our first film this weekend. One More Body.
Yep. So this was like the experience before like internet was super popular and before all the streaming services. And this is just kind of a rough ballpark of things like this. But like when a movie was going to be coming out, it was announced at least a couple months, sometimes even a year before coming to theaters. So they'd build it up with commercials, and sometimes, like McDonald's would have their toys and sometimes their like cups themed after, like if it was a Star Wars movie or something like that. But it would build the anticipation with like, oh my God, it's going to be in theaters in 3 months. Oh my God, it's almost here. Then it would spend like a month in the big theaters. And when I say big theaters, I mean like the same movie theater, but they have bigger screens with bigger seatings and then smaller screens with smaller seatings. So it would spend like a month or longer in the big theaters before it got moved to the smaller seated theaters for another couple months. So all in all, it could have spent up to like 3-4 months actually in the movie theaters. Then it would get moved to the dollar theaters for like a month or 2. And that was, if there was a movie out there that you really were, I don't know if I want to do that. You would wait that few months before it would get to the dollar theater. And when you drove by that dollar theater and saw it on the marquee, you're like, yes, I know what I'm doing this weekend.
When I went to the dollar theater, I paid to see one movie and watched them all.
Yeah. So then after the dollar theater, it would just disappear completely for like 2-3 months. Then they would start making the announcements that coming out on VHS and DVD in like 2-3 weeks. So it was like the whole cinematic experience, I think, lasted. It could last for like a year or more before, like, so they would announce a movie, and then once it was in theaters, it was close to a year before you were like, oh my God, I could own this on VHS and DVD. I can't wait for that.
Right. And they usually got it out right before like a prime season, like
Thanksgiving,
third quarter, Thanksgiving.
Everybody
Christmas.
knew it was coming out, but nowadays it's like, is that already out? Fuck.
Right. It's in theater for a week, and before it's even out of the theater.
Sometimes it's in
DVD.
Sometimes it's in the theater at the same time it's in Walmart shelf.
Let's talk about that. So I have the list of what today's movie experience is like. Movies announced less than 2 weeks before hitting theaters, sometimes not even announced. It's just in theaters. Spends 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, if good, total in theaters, with both being in large and small seated theaters. It's usually already on digital download before out of theaters. Goes to the dollar theater during this time too, and is out on DVD less than 2 months after being in theaters.
Yeah.
And a lot of times too, it could be on a streaming service the same time that it's in. So it's like, there is no excitement. I mean, yes, every now and then you'll get a movie like, Avengers Endgame or something like that, where
a lot of the big Marvel movies,
they'll do that, but it's just like, it takes away. And it's, I don't know, to me, being a independent filmmaker, I try to make it all about the experience. Like Unemployed, when we shot that, I thought the way we were promoting it, I mean, obviously I wanted to promote it a lot differently, but money was an issue, and that's the sad thing with independent movie filmmakers, is that you don't have money, and you don't have people that want to support movies and give money. But
everything comes out of your own pocket, and Kickstarter and all that is
garbage.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily. You got to have a name before you can pull some.
But like Unemployed, after we shot it and we edited it, we put out a teaser trailer. We actually filmed and put out the teaser trailer before we even started filming the movie, which is kind of dangerous to do.
And all of our characters kind of evolved, like way past that.
But yeah, once we finished filming it, in the process of editing it, we put out a trailer. And then we also put out, like, each of the 4 of your main characters, we did a little montage clip, like a 30-second clip, 20 to 30-second clip of, like, meet Justin. And then it, like, shows a few clips and stuff like that. So it was like, people were kind of getting invested in the characters and building excitement for it. Like, and I mean, I think it paid off. We had 2 sold out premieres and a big theater. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure a lot of it had to do because, like, I know this, I know I'm going to bring my family to it and stuff. But I do think that the promoting actually helped a lot too. But again, I think today everything is done to make money as quick as possible. And I mean, even filming a movie, on average, it's like less than like 2 weeks to film it. 2-3 weeks, maybe 4, depending on how big of a movie it is. But that's even rushed.
Right.
And what is your guys' take on this?
I definitely see the obvious change. I mean, growing up, I remember seeing the poster almost every time I went into the mall, theater type of place, and it's like, whoa, it's almost there. And yeah, now it's, you check your social media feed, and you're like, holy crap, that's this weekend or whatever. It's like you don't get that quick update, or I guess it is more of a quick update. You don't get that extensive update to build your exuberance, your anticipation. And then now how they're pushing so many things, I guess quantity over quality. I guess some things that are very quality polished, but
right.
It's like you don't have that anticipation for multiple streams. You're like, okay, I'm going to see this. Okay, now I'm going to see this. You don't have that. You can't take in everything like you used to. It's kind of like how music is too. It's like you used to have like the CDs or cassettes, and that's what you listened to. You couldn't just like get online and stream everything else. It's like you ran this tape or VHS over and over and over, and it's like you got used to that. And yeah, the cinematic experience is just, it's evolved. I don't want to say degraded. It's just different, and we have to accept something like that.
We'll agree to disagree on that one. I think it's definitely been degraded.
Yeah. Well, for me, my experience really wasn't so much in the theater aspect. for me, it was huge on the VHS aspect. I was a huge tape trader. Like, so if I wanted to see Halloween 3 that my friend had, and he wanted All Dogs Go to Heaven, I would have to hunt down All Dogs Go to Heaven.
1 or 2?
1. 2,
okay.
2 is dog shit.
Okay.
But it was harder to find because it only came out a month and a half ago, and you would have to hunt it down. Not like now where it's like, we're going to release this movie, 100 million copies. But like back in the day when it was, scarce copies, it'd be harder to find. And that was it for me. Like, I would only get to see the movies from a VHS player. So the movies you really wanted to see, you really had to work for. Or save up all your money and go rent them at like a Captain Video or something like that. Like, you appreciated seeing what you wanted to see. Kids nowadays, they just sit down like, oh, I have a choice of 150 movies I want to see. They don't appreciate it anymore.
No. Well, and kind of along the lines of what you were saying, when they would finally make the announcement that this movie's coming out on VHS and DVD, like, right. You were excited. You're like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
And you almost had to like camp out,
right,
to get a copy of it,
was
because
like
it would be
tickets for a rock show. Yeah. Like, you were at the movie theater the second it opened, to rush in and get that copy of Witches of Eastwick.
Or you go to Walmart when it was coming out on DVD, and it's just like you get up super early. Like, if it came out on Tuesday, you were there early in the morning. But right. There was the one that really upset me, and it kind of sucked because in the end the movie sucked, was Jason X.
Yeah.
That one I could not find.
Garbage.
It took like 2 weeks for me to finally track it down.
Right.
And then I watched it and I'm like, well, that was anticlimactic. But
you know what movie did that to me? The Conjuring.
Really?
It had the most beautiful hype package of, it's going to be the best horror movie in decades. Blah 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 blah. It's from Blumhouse. Blah, blah, blah. It's based on the Warrens. You guys know my love for the Warrens. Want to be amazing, blah, blah, blah. Check out these awesome trailers. Release trailers for 4 months of, like, little snippet trailers, 15-second trailers. It's going to be so good, blah, 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 blah. I went to see it, and of course, like, there's 5 fucking people in this theater, and I sit in the front row, because no one's going to sit in the front row by me. But oh, yeah, here comes the dad, grandpa with his 3 kids, 3 granddaughters, and they left a seat between us, thankfully, but they sat right next to us. One of the little girls, the whole time, is, I don't want to be here, I'm so scared, and the other 2 little girls were, oh, shut up, this isn't that scary. Grandpa the whole time was amazed by everything, like it was his first fucking time he's ever seen a television.
He was awake?
Yeah, but the second, like, a door would creak or the sound tempo would change, he'd go, huh. So every fucking time, there's the whole movie.
Analyzing it.
Something scary would pop out, and and the movie sucked. We can't forget about that. The movie was fucking garbage.
It was awesome.
But my experience of that movie, I waited a year and a half for, was crying little girl and
Oh.
I think it's just your proximal experience. That was pretty much it.
No, the movie
you couldn't
was
enjoy it the way it was supposed to.
I've watched it again, hoping that was
also,
the case.
Back in the day, they used to show previews. Well, I guess they still show previews, but they used to show previews before the movie, and that was the only preview that you saw.
Right.
Nowadays, they have like 5-6 different cuts of something, and it gives you so much that by the time you finally see it, you're like, okay, I already knew this. There's nothing that's going to reveal something that's amazing.
They give you the meat and the potatoes now. Yeah. Like, they give you so much of the plot of the movie.
Something of suspense.
Like, if they showed you a preview now of The Unusual Suspects, that's like, oh, fuck, there's Kaiser Sose. See, The Unusual Suspects.
I think
this is the person who did it.
I think they do it because they know that they have people that are going to, the rich get richer. Like I always say, they know that people are going to pay to see it. So it's just like, well, well, those people that might have been on the fence, we're going to give them the best parts of the movie because they're going to think that there's going to be even better parts when they come to see it.
Like, who cares once we already have their money?
No, yeah, and that's the sad. Like, it's it's one of the things that really irritates me is, you know, I could probably definitely work harder at being a filmmaker, but it's tough because I'd be homeless. I'm not getting paid to be a filmmaker, so I have to work a job, and it's like I have to work these days. You have to work so much just to make ends meet, and it's not rare these days for somebody to be working 2 jobs. That's common. So it's like I get upset when these people that have all the money and stuff given to them, and it's like they produce crap, and it's just like I try to give it my all. I mean, like, you guys know, for a prime example, this short film that we're doing this weekend that I wrote and will be directing, that you guys have helped out tremendously on and still will be helping out on. It's a 20-minute film, and you know what I've spent on this.
Absolutely.
And I know I'm not going to get a penny of that back because I love doing this, but it's just like, you know, these people that are giving millions upon millions thrown at them, and it's just like they're con artists to me.
Right.
They're screwing people out of money and not giving them everything they can be giving them. And, you know, I think that's part of the reason why nowadays there's no original ideas.
Right.
Because all these people that are giving them the money are telling them, like, well, I'm giving you all this money, but I need a movie in a month's time.
Right.
And so that's why they do a lot of remakes now, because it's like, well, I don't have time to write something, so we're just going to take something that already exists. We're going to redo it. We're going to do a lot of CGI in it and to take up less time because practical effects take time and money. And we know by attacking on the name of this franchise, we're already going to make billions of dollars off of it.
Well, I mean, look at Death House we were talking about the other night. $2.3 million budget. It grossed worldwide $23,000.
That is mind-boggling.
Right. It must have had an extremely short or extremely limited run.
It had to have.
But it's on, like, the low pages of Netflix. Like, the almost before you get to the Hindi movies.
Oh, man.
It's way down there. But it's okay. It's a good movie. It's a nostalgia trip. Like, it's got everybody besides Robert Englund in it.
Yeah.
He was too much.
He was too. He would have.
That would have been $5 million budget.
They would have probably had to double the budget to get him on board. From what I've heard, don't know.
He's just misunderstood.
I mean, to me, like, even like the theater, going to the theater, that experience is garbage. Like, you know, to me, I like the old school theaters, like the one that we did, Westwood Cinema, where we had the premiere of Unemployed at, because it's the old style floor seating that's just slanted. It's not level after level after level. And it's like nowadays, I mean, the last time I think Michael and I went to Oakview, I mean, you went from like 200 plus seats in a theater to like
60
to 60. And it's like you have 10 seats per level, and it's basically like your own apartment. And like the chairs recline back, there's heat on them, they probably vibrate and all this stuff. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
Whisper
like,
at you
what?
and send scents at you. It's like, oh, you get the full experience.
Why? It's a goddamn movie. Well, I don't want to be comfortable watching a movie because then I'm going to fall asleep. and like Michael, who fell asleep during Upgrade, and then all of a sudden
you fall asleep during Upgrade,
and then he wakes up and the guy was paralyzed when he fell asleep, and then he woke up and the guy's walking around. And Michael's like, "What the fuck did I miss?"
Upgrade. You missed Upgrade, all of it.
That was a great movie, by the way. Upgrade, I thought. What happened? He can't hear. You looked at him like he could hear what you just played.
Just that longing look over the shoulder.
Oh, man. So I mean, yeah. All in all, to wrap this segment up, I'm very disappointed with the cinematic experience all around. I think in my style of filming and promoting things and doing things, I try to go back to those old school ways and try to make it. Not that people are really spending money on it, but I try to make it worth their dollar, and if not worth their time if they're watching something, and make it exciting. And like I've said with every project I do, I always tell the people that are a part of it that, you know, you may be a server at Applebee's during the day, but when you're part of this movie or modeling group or whatever it is, wrestling promotion, you're larger than life. To these people, you are a superstar. And that's what I always try to do with things. So.
And there's only 2 people on this earth who's had a worse movie-going experience than you. And that's Paul Rubens and Abraham Lincoln.
I thought Paul Rubin had a pretty good, you know, he finished.
He's the only celebrity to keep his hands to himself.
That's true.
Oh, we should have him as a guest.
We'd have to do it here with this clear table.
Oh, no. Well, now he's not going to be our guest. So, all right. So we're going to move on to an inspirational quote. Lonnie, this was your inspirational quote.
This was my quote, and it flows perfectly into something you were saying there about you making movies all the time, but you can't because you have other things holding you back. And there's a lot of people who step away from that, who step away from their priorities and just go for it. Not saying either way is right or wrong, but this isn't an inspirational speech. This is actually a poem done by my favorite poet. And I actually had this transcribed, and I had it on my wall in my last office of my last big boy job. And whenever I would get too big for my britches and start thinking about how I wanted to progress and go on and do it how nothing was going to stop me, I would stop and read it. And I purposely didn't let you guys listen to it because I wanted to see you experience it. Go ahead and hit it.
Hi, thank you for purchasing the audiobook of How to Ruin Your Life for Fun and Profit, as read by the author, Neil Hilborn. So, you want to be unhappy. You probably think you need to be in pain to be an interesting person and artist, and you're right. People who care about you will tell you you don't need to suffer to be important. But just remember, musicians are always most popular the day after they die. So, are you ready to matter to someone? Step 1, hate yourself. You are, presumably, a human being between the ages of alive and dead. So chances are you're already there. Congratulations! Step 2, fall in love. People will tell you that this takes years, but we have a secret method that will allow you to fall for anyone in under a week. The trick is, you must be completely unable to tell the difference between love and codependence. Step 3, fall in love with someone else at the same time. People will tell you this is impossible, given the love already inside you, but they don't know you. Your heart is limitless. Your heart is a well that goes all the way down. You can fit everyone in there. But remember to lie about it. Love can't exist with knowledge of other love. Step 4, at this point you may be doubting your decision to totally fuck up your life. So ask yourself, would you rather be happy or interesting? Would you rather be on the news or just watching it? Happy people don't make history. Happy people make children, then die. Step 5. Self-diagnose a mental disorder that makes you aloof and impossible to contact. If someone accuses you of being a bad friend, lover, or child, accuse them of being insensitive. Step 6. All of the elements are in place. Now, start sabotaging your own life. Remember, this isn't crazy. This is research. This is material. This is necessary for your personal growth. Step 7. You've been in love with 2 people for a while now. Tell them about each other. Whichever one stays is the winner. 8. Call your boss a fascist chipmunk fucker. Tell your friends fun lies about your other friends. Tell your mother she was the reason you tried to kill yourself. It's just not depression without total isolation. 9. Do something to hurt yourself. It may be credit card debt. It may be gonorrhea. It may be a razor. Literal or not, make yourself bleed. Step 10. Create something. Paint your scars on the side of a building. Write a poem and shout it at strangers. The misery circus is parading into town and you are holding the banner. Miles of people are following you. They are all wearing gray, a rainbow of gray. They are all watching as they kick themselves bloody on their own feet. You have scars and everyone wants to kiss them. This is stigmata pornography. This is inspiration. You are right. They are still alive. You are mourning in a world of midnights. You are so brave. And they want to be brave just like you. Look at what you have built. Everything you loved is gone. Tell yourself it was worth it.
So it gives you an idea of what some people are capable of doing. They're willing to give up their lives to chase a dream that they might not actually acquire, but they'll give up their life to try to get there.
Yeah, I think they don't understand their true intentions or underlying intentions. I mean, they have like an idea they want to pursue, but on top of that or under that, it's more about getting the attention for that idea that they want to pursue.
Right.
So it's like you're primarily reaching for the attention, not necessarily the accomplishment of said goal.
Right.
So it's like so many people, come New Year's Eve, I'm going to start, this, I'm going to, lose this much weight, I'm going to bring, new me, new year, new me type of thing. And then come February 1st, it's like, you had all that attention, you put it all out there, but like, you're not actually going for it. You just want people to like, oh, you're perfect the way you are, or whatever. And it's like, you get that credit, I guess,
right?
Ahead of time. So it's like, what's the need to carry it out since I've already got fed what I needed?
I mean, I'm just the whole thing of like putting it all out there and stuff like that. I mean, there's so many days where I just tell myself like I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna work hard at filmmaking and stuff like that. But I mean, the scariest thing about it is, yeah, I could do all that stuff and it sounds poetic and inspirational and stuff, but when the reality sets in that, okay, I mean, it's a tough world out there, no matter what you want to do. And I'm just using filmmaking as an example because that's what I would love to do in life. But how many filmmakers are there nowadays?
Right.
I mean, you have people filming movies with their damn phones. I mean, it used to take some kind of talent to make a movie and to know how to make a movie. And, you had to create that movie from scratch type of thing. And, nowadays you film with a phone. Your phone has a nicer camera than old time movies and stuff like that. And you have apps that you can get for free that will color grade it and you can edit it on. And it's just like, it sucks because it's taken away jobs.
It's oversaturated.
It's oversaturated, but it's taken away jobs for people that this is their true passion. You have some Jim Dandy guy over here who got lucky because he had some stupid drunk idea that he did and he filmed it and then he got popular with it and now he's getting all this fame and credit for it. And it's just like, then there's people like me that have had to almost work 2 jobs their entire adult life to even pay the fucking bills. Right. And it's just like, it's to hear a thing like that. It's just like, God, it's inspirational, but reality is still there where it's just like, I would love to be able to do that and just put it all on the line. But I know the end, it's probably not going to end well.
And that's where you got to take it. That's not something that was meant to make you doubt yourself or make make yourself upset. You take it in the terms like I take it. It's like we could give up everything to do that, to take the chance and do it, but we're not. We have the head enough on our shoulders where there's things that are more important to us, and there's relationships that are more important to us that we won't let go. And there's certain people in this world who need to hear that. And I hope they do, but they're not going to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So many times you give somebody like sound advice and it's like you wonder why they keep on coming back to you when you're like, yeah, this is, you know, what everybody's saying this, dude, like, do this or whatever, and they don't take any advice, and they wonder why their life is where it's at.
Well, there's certain people who you're like, hey, we'll always be here for you. Hey, let us be here for you. And you're the enemy.
It's
absolutely
most likely because when you're trying to change, not necessarily change, but open somebody's eyes, it's because they're not seeing, you're distorting their reality. It's like, why, you know, like if they actually do, how do I elaborate on this? If they actually do kind of, they're not willing to open their eyes to see something. They're focused on one thing only.
No, I mean, I think that was a great, I also like how it started off like funny, and then it's just like at the end, it's like it got real quick, and it's like,
there's a lot of people who have to operate in their lives with an amount of chaos.
Right.
And sometimes if you know how to harness that, that can work well for you.
Absolutely.
But if you are not honest with yourself, it's going to be just chaos on top of chaos.
Well, that was fantastic.
And any of you who like that poem, that's a spoken word poet. His name's Neil Hilborn. You can check him out on YouTube or Button Poetry is where most of his stuff is done. He came to Omaha last year before COVID was a thing. He was at the waiting room. Absolute great guy. Every time you see him, I think he's a changeling. He changes his shape, size, and the way he looks all the time.
Yeah, the image that you sent for the video looks nothing like his stage performance.
Yeah.
That's not the same guy.
Right.
Well, Justin, not next week because we'll be on our next episode because we'll be on location. But when we get back in studio, episode 11, you've got the inspirational quote.
I could do it right now.
No, you're not doing it right now. We're moving on to the next topic. Take that inspirational quote.
Take that, sucker.
Did you get another text message?
That's a transition.
Anyway, so this topic was actually going to be our main topic, but the last minute here kind of got switched around. Just because the more we thought about it, it's like I don't think there's really much to talk about on this subject, especially since coming up with this, it was kind of already passed and denied.
Oh, I got it.
What?
Here we go.
You got basil.
What?
So
you said we're doing this for this podcast.
Oh, yeah. So keep in mind here that the three gentlemen here at the table are all straight edge.
What?
So is it basil?
I don't know. It doesn't smell. It might be tea.
It's not. It's. Dude, I paid $60 for that dime bag. I feel like I got
That's a
ripped
Ziploc
off.
bag.
The dude.
That ain't a dime.
I think it's tea.
It's not. No.
We're smelling
I bought it from a dude who wasn't wearing any shoes.
How dare you? Most. Is it tea?
It smells like.
You say that I smell tea with it.
It
People listening right now are like, "What the hell is going on?" So let me get into it here. So we're going to talk about here real quickly, and again, keeping in mind all three of us are straight edge gentlemen.
Jeremy said we were going to do marijuana. For
medical
this podcast.
marijuana, should it be legalized? Now, I think some of you listeners might be a little surprised at our answers to this. So, as I was saying before, too. Apparently, I try to not watch too much of the news because it's so much hate today, but apparently Nebraska, at least, has voted against it, and they are not even going to have medical marijuana on the ballot. So it's already been decided, but I guess we'll still talk a little bit here for about 10 minutes or so. Our thoughts
Move to
on
Iowa. We'll support you.
I mean, you guys, what's your thought? I'm just going to come out and say it right now that I think it should be legalized. I think there's only one real downside to it that I don't care for, and that would be people driving under the influence of being high, which is just as bad as driving under the influence of alcohol.
I might disagree with that.
But it's going to it depends on the amount that you take. Obviously,
and how it affects you, I should say.
But my experience with people that are under the influence of it, they're pretty well mellowed out. That their sense of awareness is going to be
5 hours or 5 miles per hour. I don't want to get caught.
But I just think that regardless of whether it's legal or not, people are still going to be driving under the influence of it. So you might as well just legalize it, because I think the state is going to gain a lot of profits from it.
Right, absolutely. But before we go on any farther, what's in the goddamn bag?
So Justin brought a Ziploc bag of green leafy stuff that we think is tea.
Jeremy said what we were doing marijuana on.
No more jokes. What's in the fucking bag?
So I'm not. And I bought this for $60. He said it was a dime bag. I feel like I got ripped off. It smells like, I could probably put this on some masticali, some lasagna or something.
Is it basil?
I think it's not basil. It's not basil.
Parsley?
It's.
Dude, we have like an hour left.
I think it's parsley.
Parsley. Okay.
Some masticoli. I'll put
That's
it.
That's what
on
I meant
something.
to say was parsley. I kept saying basil. So, yeah, you guys, you're in agreement about it being legalized?
I mean, I came here from a state that had recreational legal marijuana. So.
Like today?
No, a couple years ago. But no, coming from California where marijuana was legal, it's actually not as bad as you would think being in a legal marijuana state. It's sold at dispensaries that are federally mandated and federally inspected, so it's not like it's like what was the movie Reefer Madness, where everyone's losing their shit. You're not seeing people smoking pot on every corner. It's like the theory of if it is there for people, it's not going to be as cool as it is now.
If you want to put it under the scope of just medical marijuana, I would even broaden that scope and just say marijuana in general. Like, it should be legal. It's like, for three of us who have no interest to partake, personally, I love all those stoner movies. I grew up on Cheech and Chong, Jay and Silent Bob, Harold and Kumar. Like, I love the depiction of it, but I have no interest in partaking. It's like, marijuana I don't see as something doing so much harm, especially since it has medicinal properties. Just scoping it down to medical marijuana, yeah, it helps a lot. Like, there's a plethora of ailments. Like, there's anxiety, glaucoma, insomnia, nausea, depression, pain, migraines, seizures, inflammation. Like, it helps so much, or so many things. Some people need that just to chill out. It's like, if you're doing it recreationally, like, you can create some art. Like, some of our favorite songs or movies or something like that was probably inspired under some sort of drug, most likely marijuana, or something a little harder. But I have bigger qualms with, like, alcohol.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I would say, like,
100%.
That you can just go to any corner shop and grab a bottle of the hardest shit. It's like, here you have to have something, this will probably add more to our economy. Look how Colorado went, boomed after they legalized it.
And look at
especially the Girl Scouts.
And look at their fucking protests, like where Omaha's protests and Minneapolis's protests, Ferguson's protests. Like, their riots are full on breaking windows, blah blah blah. And then you look at Denver's protests; they're all just fucking laying on the roads. They literally were pretending they were dead bodies. That's the peaceful protests I want to see.
The biggest thing in this is more of a selfish reason of a negative about it, and it kind of goes back to something that you had just said about, like, how people aren't just on the corner doing it all the time and stuff and whatnot because it's not as cool. I kind of disagree with that because about 4 years ago, my buddy and I, ex-buddy, I guess now, we went out there to Denver to film something with a well-known professional wrestler persona, and the hotel we stayed at and every place we went, it was basically you walk into the places and it's like now out here where you walk in and there's people outside smoking cigarettes and you have to walk through their disgusting smoke smell. That's what it was like at all these places. People are outside smoking it and you have to walk through it. And me personally, the smell of marijuana turns my stomach literally where I want to throw the fuck up.
Well, yeah,
it smells so bad. And then it was like in the hotel itself.
Yeah.
I had to take the sheets off and the pillowcase because they smelled like marijuana. And
I remember early in my, and I feel so stupid for this too, but I remember early in my professional career, my day job. So I would walk into like certain apartments and I'm like, holy shit, like it smells like a skunk in here. And then I didn't put two and two together because, you know, the area that I worked in, it's like, oh, okay.
You had all that extra pepper spray because you thought there was a lot of skunks around. Yeah, that's my biggest thing is like, I don't, it's going to annoy me because everybody's going to smell like it. Every place is going to smell like it. And I will up and leave places if it smells like that because it seriously makes me sick to my stomach. And when people smell like it, I will, in the middle of the conversation, walk away because it's just like, you smell like a skunk.
With anything, there's always also the...
there's the excitement factor of it first coming out.
That and
like everybody's going to be like, I can smoke pot, so they're going to do it.
That and the addiction type of, you know, like I have family who would rather feed their addiction rather than keep their lights on at their place, you know, with a family living in the house. And it's like you need to know your priorities before you're going to partake, but there's, I mean, alcoholism is a disease, as they label it. It's like there's, at this level, there's no such thing as marijuanaism. It's not a disease. Although I think people will eventually claim it. Kind of how like that inspirational quote is. You're going to create or self-diagnose yourself as something as crazy, insane.
Well, I think, too, legalizing it is going to cut down on crime. I mean, because a lot of people get charges with possession.
Right.
And it's like if it's legal, there's not going to be as much people in jail and wasted time in front of a judge, or the court date and all this stuff. So, I mean, I definitely think that the pros outweigh the cons.
Absolutely. And there still are drug rules when it comes to states with legal marijuana. Like in California, you were only allowed a certain amount and it had to be in the dispensary container. Like if you had like a mass load of marijuana in a non-dispensary container, it was seen as trafficking.
Yeah.
And then like trafficking was a huge problem, and also distributing. Like, so your dealer that, you know, your normal guy who would sell dime bags for $60 was
like you pointed to his Ziploc bag of
You guys don't want to get baked or anything? Come on.
Yeah, it's off on fucking lasagna.
Oh, I thought we were going to get baked. I got some crisps for you, too.
I don't even want to know what else is
This
in the
fucking
bag.
guy. This fucking guy.
He's bringing props now.
What? They're crisps.
To an audio podcast.
Do you want some crisps or not?
I actually kind of do.
There you go.
Could you have brought a prop that's any more loud?
Yeah.
How about crisps?
Anyway,
good.
He's like, are you saying crisps?
Yeah, and I was in the part of California that people don't like to talk about, Oakland.
Oh, yeah. They even... they give up their football team, didn't they?
I think
they should give
just
up a lot of things.
Look at other states, counties, areas, whatever, that have it legal, countries even. Like, look how booming their economy is.
I mean, Canada, it's the happiest place on earth.
Amsterdam, all that, yeah. It's like...
Maybe it's the prostitution that's the thing.
No, I can't
like,
do that.
not marijuana, but the prostitution.
That'll be the next thing on the ballot to legalize.
I mean, Nancy Pelosi's fucking us all anyway.
No lube.
Did you purposely wait till I had a mouthful of liquids?
I wasn't looking at all.
Oh, my goodness. We almost had to get a new soundboard. Oh, so let me, before we move on to the next topic, or a game, I should say, since we're all straight edge, if you came down with a medical condition to where your doctor, you're in a lot of pain or whatever, and your doctor said they would prescribe you some medical marijuana, would you do it?
Fuck no, I ain't no pussy.
I'm the same way. Like, I feel like, I have a tattoo on me that says straight edge, and, I'm very proud of that, and I feel like I would be lying to myself or whatever if I did that. But, yeah, I guess You know, it would depend. I mean, if it's something that I wasn't going to kill me, but I was in chronic pain, and it was gonna help, I don't know. I would have to be some serious thinking about it to see if I do that.
I like to think of myself as like a man of virtue. Like I'm a man of my word.
Does that mean you're a virgin Jew?
No. Am I?
Yeah.
I can't say
Have you ever had sex as a Jew?
No.
Then you're a virgin.
Virgin. Oh, nice. Not even
Nothing.
paying attention.
I'll look over at Michael.
We need his approval every now and then. And he's sometimes zonked out right in front of us. But yeah.
He's got the virtual reality goggles on.
His hands in his pants.
Oh. So
but yeah, no, I as it stands, I don't think I mean, like, because we have other things. Like, I would not mind, you know, like CBD, something like that can help. Because there's, like, you know, it's THC and CBD are the primary compounds for marijuana. And, you know, there's psychoactive elements in both. One of them is more of a euphoric type of...
Are you a fucking Disney princess?
Like, nobody just saw that, but
okay.
So Justin's phone is hooked up to our soundboard, which is what all the dings are for. But literally, he made a hand gesture, and right when he opened his palm, it went ping.
Wow, how did he do that? But yeah, no. So like CBD has more of a calming, and, you know, and THC has more of a euphoric, you know, psychoactive element.
And then TLC don't want no scrubs.
That's weird you said that, because I was just about to make a Boys to Men reference. I was going to be like, isn't that the end of the Boys to Men song? That's Boys to Men, CBD, ABC, CBD. Anyways.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's still CBD. I don't mind topical type of things, or something like drops or something like that. Like, I'm not into drugs in a sense, although like there's drugs that we kind of take, like, well, for myself, caffeine is a drug, and I'm
pussy.
You know, and then there's certain
Pornhub is my drug.
I mean, I'm calling you a pussy for drinking caffeine, but the second I start to have a panic attack, two Xanax down the throat, and I'm good.
I'm dying.
I don't take any, like, I don't drink caffeine. I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol. I don't take any pills for anything. The only thing I take a pill for is my heart, because if I didn't, I'd probably be dead. But yeah, like, it sucks, because when I get like a pounding headache,
I
will not take anything. I could, but I won't.
I know quite a few girls who don't have hearts, so.
So do I, my friend.
This one's you, Becky.
So do I.
I take so many drugs because of the doctor for all the shit that's wrong with me.
That's the problem. Is like, I don't want to get
hurt you.
I don't want to get addicted to things. Like, your body's so
living.
Well, no, because a lot of times I think drugs don't do what they claim they are. I think mentally you think, okay, by taking this pill, my elbow's not going to itch anymore. And you're like, oh my God, it doesn't itch anymore.
See, I do a little bit of meditation, some breath work, some anal gazing. It's a solar.
Isn't that where you like spread eagle to your asshole to the sun?
You get so many benefits,
like the vitamin D
nutrients
through your asshole,
like sunburns. I
listened to an article, listened to a podcast called Sawbones, where it's like a lady who's a doctor and her husband who is just a dude, but it's funny as fuck. And they actually did one on the placebo effect in the double-blind study, talking about how it's all bullshit. Like, the guy who created it just made it up. Like, I listened to that one day while I was out fishing.
Like the whole sugar pill type of thing?
Yeah, like, it's just bullshit. The dude just made it up. Like, taking a placebo, like, does that work? And they're like, yeah, it totally works. And the dude just made up the info. Like, there wasn't anybody trying the test. He's just like, well, if people would try it, this is what the results would be.
Yet we still push that as though it's truth.
Yeah.
Kind of goes back to something you were saying earlier, like when things are, you know, like reefer madness, you know, people still believe that after how debunked it's been.
It's like they're still Christians, knowing there isn't a God.
Those people.
Oh, you pissed them off.
These boys.
Don't say that around Paco. You know how religious he is.
I know.
Which I haven't heard from him. Has anybody heard from him lately?
He sent me a postcard the other day.
Where's he at now?
Mars.
Mars. Yeah.
No, the Mars bar factory. I think it's in Yuma, Arizona.
The things that he does, I don't understand.
Yeah, the dude went from like knife fight in Tijuana to the Mars bar factory in Yuma, Arizona.
He gets an idea and he just goes with it.
Yeah, like
he's the one who started the Ninja Run, in
right?
The Ninja Run, what is it? Into the Area 51 thing?
Yeah, I know. I know, and I'm surprised that
there was like two guys, and he was the one. He had like the other guy by the hand, and he was like, "Come with, motherfucker!"
Didn't CNN interview him? I thought he was on CNN.
Well, no, he ran CNN that day. Like he pulled the camera guy, and he's like, "Interview me." That's the worst Paco impression ever.
Yeah, sounds more like Mr. Miyagi.
Miyagi-do.
Sounds like Splinter.
So, by the way, I'm
no doctor.
Totally off the subject here. I mean, it has to do with Mr. Miyagi. So I started watching Cobra Kai. I finished season 1, and I'm through episode 4 of season 2.
Good show, but I'm going to
great show, and the next one on deck is the one you guys have been talking about.
I'm going to give you a little check mark.
Don't worry.
It's not Haunting of Hill House, but it's okay. I've watched it again, waiting for you to watch it.
I have to do Cobra Kai. Karate Kid is one of my favorite movies, so I have to do it justice. And
season one, it's such a nostalgia trip. Like so many little things that you're like, oh, holy fuck, this is great.
I'd say my one complaint with Cobra Kai is the boy actor that plays Johnny's son. He's such like a troubled asshole kid at the beginning, the first few episodes, and then just like with the snap of a finger, all of a sudden he's like super polite and like yes. I'm like, I'm waiting for it to happen where this is all him using Danielson, and he's going to turn on him and join his dad. But that's the brilliance of the show, is like they make it's so back and forth. Like Johnny's the good guy, like in him explaining like what he's been doing, like why he did the things he did from the first one, and they show flashbacks and stuff like that. And it's like, well, that makes sense. Like, I would do the same thing. But then it's like, then he's like, I'm a dickhead. I'm going to do this to this person and that. And it's like, oh, I want to like Johnny, and I want him to just be good. And I want him and Daniel to fucking hug. And then it's like, Danielson, he's the same way. He's
misunderstood.
He's like an asshole, but he's nice too. And it's like, what are you doing to me here? You're playing with my emotions.
They're both trying to prove their own innocence in a way.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, guys, like, let's take a step back, crack a beer.
Yeah, well, and they did in that one episode when he lets Johnny get the new car or whatever, and they're taking it for a test drive, and they go to that bar, and it's like they're sitting there talking, they're becoming friends, and then they have that thing. It's like, what do you say we go on the mat one more time? You know, like the end of Rocky 3 with Apollo and Rocky, and I'm like, yes, and then it's just like that. Then he turns the corner, and Johnny's son is there, and he's like, what the fuck is this, you prick? It's like, God, this show, so good.
Right.
Anyways, enough on that.
Hands down, best person in the series is Hawk.
Yes. Oh, my God.
He kind of steals it.
Oh,
he does.
Hands down.
So you guys ready to play a game?
Nope.
Nope, because you won't explain it to us.
I'm going to explain it now.
Oh, yay. Hooray.
So if we're going to go by the scoreboard here.
I think I'm high.
I
had some parsley.
So you should win this game. Anyways, so if we look at the scoreboard, I have 2 wins. Lonnie has 1 and Justin has 1. So hopefully at the end of the night, we'll have somebody up here with me at 2 wins. So what we are going to be doing right now is a game called 5-Word Movie Description. Now, how we play this is as follows. So I have picked a movie, and I've picked 5 words to describe that movie. I'm going to give the first word, the first one, and after each word I'm going to stop, and you guys get to take a guess. The first one to say got it or stop or whatever gets to answer first. If you get it right, you get points. If you get it wrong, the other person gets to guess. If they get it right, they get points. If they get it wrong, we move on to the second word, and it'll be the same thing where the first one to say stop or whatever gets to guess first. Now, if you can guess the movie with only one word, you get 5 points. If you can guess the movie with 2 words, you get 4 points. 3 words, 3 points. 4 words, 2 points. And 5 words, 1 point. Now, if you can't get it with the first 5 words, I do have 3 bonus words. And if you can get one, if you can get it from that, you get half a point.
Okay. Can we know the genre of the movie?
You cannot know the genre of the movie.
I'm still going to keep asking for the genre of the movie.
Then you're going to waste breath because I'm not going to do it.
Do we lose any points for guessing?
I think we need
the
genre of the movie.
That would really help us.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
It's like you don't want us to win.
Michael, I tested this out with Michael, and
Michael
he got
is a
it.
super villain genius.
I need a pen, by the way. Can I borrow your pen?
So
I can take points.
Does this look like a pen? Man, that's some strong parsley.
All right. So do you guys understand?
No, because you won't give us the genre of the movie.
Oh, man, I blinked, so
I'm
I didn't hear
not
it.
giving genre because it'll make it too easy.
Too easy?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
This is, you guys, I think you are making this harder than you think it's going to be.
I'm no good at
So
tests.
there's 5. I have done 5 movies.
5 movies.
So
Everything leads my mind.
This is the first one.
Okay.
The first movie.
I'm going to take a guess at every single one.
Well, you guys get a guess after each word.
One guess?
One
piece?
guess.
But yes, but it's the first one to speak up gets to guess first.
At what level do you want us to continue?
All right, so the
It's
first
piss.
movie, the first word. School.
Stop.
Okay.
School of Rock.
Nope.
Fast Times at Richmount High.
No. Second word. Business.
Stop. Kindergarten Cop.
Nope.
Detroit Rock City.
No.
It's close.
Third word. Penguin.
Stop. We Bought a Zoo.
Nope.
Penguin as in Danny DeVito?
No. 2, 1. Guess. Time's up.
Zoo, school, penguin.
No. School, business, penguin.
School, business, penguin. Okay.
Fourth word. Decathlon.
Stop. Billy Madison.
Correct.
Ah.
So Lonnie gets 2 points with that
Why
one.
does he get all the easy ones?
All right. So the fifth word would have been Billy. So that would have hopefully gave it away. All right. So we're moving on to the second movie. And your first word
You
is
should have pronounced it penguin.
bomb.
Stop. Speed.
I know. I knew that was going to be the first guess.
You should just let me go first every time because I'm the only one saying stop.
Because
Christmas Party.
No. Because Justin's still trying to be in character as somebody that's high off of parsley. Second word, prison.
Wait, what was the first word? Wait.
Bomb. Second word, prison.
Stop.
Yes.
Lawful citizen. Fuck. Unlawful citizen?
Incorrect.
Bomb, prison, the usual suspects.
No. Third word, operation.
Stop, face off.
Correct.
Fuck. I was going to say Sean Connery.
3
was that
points for Lonnie. So at the
3
end of
points. Oh, yeah, 3 on that one. Got
at the end of 2, it's 5-0 Lonnie.
Nice.
Still anybody's game.
Good job,
Still
Lonnie.
anybody's game.
So this next one, Michael guessed something, and it was not correct. But I was like, holy crap, it kind of matches. So if somebody does guess that one, they don't get the actual win. They will get a point for guessing the other one. So here we go. Number 3 movie, first word, heart attack.
Stop. The Big Lebowski.
No.
About Schmidt.
No. Second word, family.
Stop. Big Fish?
Nope.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
No. Third word, tires.
Stop. what is it called? Problem child.
No.
What were the 3 words again?
Heart attack, family, and tires.
Heart attack, family, and tires. National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation.
No. 4th word, backfire.
Stop. Home Alone 2.
No.
Mike.
Can we get a theme? Tire, family, backfire, tires, heart attack. Pass. Next question.
Are you passing for sure? For real?
Yes, I am.
Okay. 5th word, sitter.
Stop. Don't tell Mom the babysitter's dead.
No.
That was so close. Congrats for losing.
Heart attack, family, tires, backfire, and sitter.
Wow. Shit.
His eyes are so wide right now. Think of this.
What is it? Weekend at Bernie's.
No. So we're going on to the bonus ones. First bonus word, bowling.
Stop. Kingpin?
Nope.
For soup?
Oh.
Sounds like he might know it, so you better get this right to get your half point.
No, I wanna give him a chance. So
I don't know if mine's right.
Okay.
Try it out. See if it's right.
Is it Christmas Story?
Nope.
See, I knew it wasn't right.
So the second bonus word is clown. Heart attack, family, tires, backfire, sitter, bowling, clown.
Whoa. Bill Murray. What's that cartoon-ish character? I'm not on. Am I?
No.
Okay.
Last bonus word, and if you don't get it from this,
see, these are too hard.
This one was harder than I thought. I thought this would have been one of the easier ones. Last bonus word, uncle.
Uncle Buck.
Yes.
Why does he always do Uncle Buck? I should always guess Uncle Buck.
Did I do Uncle Buck before?
You did Uncle Buck on your last one, too.
Well, you should know now. All right, so fourth movie.
I still have never seen Apparently, I need to watch Uncle Buck.
I haven't seen it, probably since I was a youngin'.
She just assumed.
Okay.
Jeremy's Contest. Do you know it? No, it's Uncle fucking Buck.
So the fourth movie,
That's a different movie.
First word, getaway.
Is the movie Getaway?
Stop. Ocean's 11.
No.
Dead Presidents.
No. Second word, work.
Stop. Horrible Bosses.
No.
Getaway? As in, like, to get away? Or, like, get away?
Do you just never watch movies?
I feel like I don't. I don't think it sticks.
It's not the getaway.
Okay, it's like a vacation. It's an Adam Sandler
It must
movie.
be that you have two movies,
So
two kids.
Getaway and work.
I bet if these were Disney
You've
films,
got
you'd get them.
10 Paw Patrol? Okay, no. Third word, ocean.
Stop. Point Break.
Nope.
Wait, what was your first one? Ocean's 11?
Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 12?
No. Fourth word, death.
Ocean's 13.
They didn't make a 14 one, did they?
Getaway, work, ocean, death.
What's the theme?
What genre?
Yeah.
Take your guess, and if you don't get it, I'll give you a genre.
See, now he does. Man.
Say Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, I can't be that. The Incredibles?
No. So it's a comedy.
Yes.
Oh.
Fifth word,
It's an Adam Sandler comedy.
boat. So you have getaway, work, ocean, death, and boat.
Weekend at... hold on. Not what I was going to say. Overboard?
Nope.
Titanic?
No.
You didn't
All
find
right.
that funny?
So bonus words worth half a point now. First bonus word, weekend.
Weekend at Bernie's.
You said it the last one.
damn
You were
it.
about to say it. So, Justin, I hate to say it, but we're still going to play the last one, but he has 6 points right now, and the most you can get is 5. So Lonnie's going to win this one.
Group the bonus points in there too.
Let's
if Justin can get it on one word, we'll
Death.
tie.
What's the
and then
hockey?
I got to do a tiebreaker?
Yeah, what's the hockey
I don't
term
have a
for
highbrow. Tiebreaker.
What's that?
So
sudden death.
So you have to get this on the first word.
You can get this on the first word. I'll make it worth 6 points for you.
And
this sounds too easy.
This is, I'm going to say, I'll give you the genre for this. It's a comedy drama, I guess.
A dramedy?
So here we go. First word for the last one is sisters.
Oh, get it, bro. See, this is going to bite me in the ass again because I gave you a shot and we tied.
I know.
See, they weren't really sisters in that. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
No.
Is it Ghost?
No.
I was going to say.
There's no sisters in Ghost. All right, second word.
Whoopi Goldberg's in Ghost. Don't tell me there ain't no sisters in Ghost.
It's sisters, not sisters.
Well, that's racialist.
Second word. Sport.
A League of Their Own.
Correct.
Nice.
So,
Dottie and...
So you got 10 points. It was 10-0.
There's no crying in baseball.
10-0, Lonnie.
I love that movie.
I was so
Great
close.
movie.
I almost had you by 1 point.
Do a lot of people tell you look like a penis with a hat on when you wear a hat, Justin?
No. Do I?
Only that bucket hat.
It's not a bucket hat.
Oh.
It's a Bowie hat.
It's a bucket. It's
Bowie
a
hat.
bucket hat.
Oh my goodness. Well, that was fun. So it's now we're tied 2 wins apiece,
2-1,
Lonnie,
yeah.
and Justin only has 1.
Good game.
So
Well, don't touch. We have to do social distancing.
We'll each touch the end of a chip.
Can I have a chip?
You can have the top chip.
Oh,
touch
thank
your
you.
touch your chips. Sounds like a fucking commercial in here or something. That sounds like a stock audio thing of crunching. So
most Uganda.
all right. So gentlemen, we're gonna move on to our main topic, something that's near and dear to my heart. And I do apologize. I am going to include you guys as much as possible in this. I do have a lot that I've written and typed up for this, so I will be talking a lot. Surprise, surprise.
I'll just eat chips.
Quit! You're making my thingy go out. And
you make my thingy go out a lot.
All right, so
always while he's drinking.
Our main topic here tonight, this morning, whenever you're listening to this, the importance of shopping locally. I really feel that a lot of people do not do this, especially this day and age with the convenience of things like Amazon and Walmart and whatnot. So I'm going to read something that I wrote, and then I'm going to open it up to a question to Lonnie and Justin, and then there's segments that I typed up. So bear with me with this as they are both getting their pillows out. For almost 15 years now, I have worked for a local ma and pop store. If you have never worked for one or any local business, you are missing out on an experience. Much like the documentary we discussed earlier called Out the Drive-In, working at a local shop is like working with family. You don't have coworkers, you have siblings. You don't have bosses and owners, you have another mom and dad, who sometimes also feel like your brothers and sisters. You look after one another and help each other whoever and whenever you can. Yes, like family, sometimes you get annoyed with one another and want to yell at them, but in the end, it is never anything out of pure hate. In a weird sense, it is out of love. Unlike a corporate business, working at a locally owned place, you feel important and not like you are just another employee. In a corporation, you are just another spoke on the wheel. You can easily be replaced and more than likely won't be missed or even remembered. But at a mom and pop store, you are a big part in the business, and when you do leave for whatever reason, it's like losing a family member. You will leave a void in the business that everyone else will have to work together to try and fill. And even years later, you won't be forgotten. But even though the family that we become working together is a tight-knit, cohesive unit, current times gives us more struggles than corporations have to go through. Not only do we have to work hard to keep our shelves stocked, we have to deal with these big corporations coming in and taking away business from us smaller businesses. With their cheaper prices and ease of delivering their products, sometimes right to your front porch, it makes the task of doing even the simplest things at your locally owned store way more difficult than it really should be. But the biggest killer of these small owned shops is you, the consumer, buying from those big corporations. They steal you away, and without some of you even knowing, you are what kills a small locally owned store. And then when you see that going out of business banner draped over that small shop's roof, you deliver your posts on social media saying, "No, I can't believe they're closing. I used to go there all the time growing up." The importance of this segment is to educate you from someone who has worked at one of those small mom and pop stores and has seen the ups and downs. And I apologize again to Johnny and Lonnie and Justin, as I may be quite talkative and passionate with this segment, but feel the people need to understand this better. So with that, I'm going to open up a question to you guys, or questions. The first one I'm going to ask you guys is, how often would you say that you shop at Walmart or Target?
Every day.
Every day?
No. That was my answer, but it's an incorrect answer. I shop. See, I like to peruse Walmart and Target quite often. I mean, they have like a variety of items that inspire me to do something around the house, I guess. Or I don't know. I would probably say I shop there maybe once a month.
Okay. Lonnie?
Probably weekly. Just because it's 4 blocks from my house. Okay. It's the first actual store I come to.
And that it is. It's like right down the street from you. So, and then how often do you buy online from Amazon or some places like Amazon?
I would say maybe twice a month.
Only when I can't find it local.
Liar. I'm kidding. So, and then I'm going to ask you, like, what are your reasons for buying from these companies?
Usually for a specific sort of item or a convenience. Like with Amazon, I do like to subscribe and save. That way I'm always in stock of something without having to leave the house, even though it's an evil corporation. But it's something we're going to have to always have. I don't see them going away anytime soon.
For me, it's just mostly price and convenience.
Yeah.
Which leads me to, I was going to say, usually money is the answer, and I get it. People want to save as much money as they possibly can, especially these days with current situations. And I am not innocent here either. I shop at Walmart mainly and order off of Amazon as well. But my main reasons when I buy things at these places is because I can't find it anywhere else. Amazon has a lot of stuff that I can't find locally. I mainly buy film equipment there because Omaha doesn't really have many places to get equipment I need.
Right. And where we do have to get it, it's usually 3 or 4 times more expensive than where we can find it on Amazon or B&H.
So with the money thing, I'm going to try to explain this as simplistically as I can using an example with my job. So I have been the manager of a year-round Halloween shop for 13 years now. It is inside a variety type of store that has been serving the community here in Omaha since 1961. The Halloween shop has been around since the 80s and is one of the biggest Halloween suppliers in the Omaha and Nebraska area. We have costumes, wigs, masks, special effects makeup, props, animatronics, you name it, we have it. If you were looking for anything Halloween related, you knew that my work was the place to come to get whatever it was that you needed. That is, until Spirit Halloween came around. Now all of a sudden you have options. But what's the difference between my store, that again is locally owned and has been serving the community for almost 60 years now, and the corporate business known as Spirit Halloween? Exactly. Well, let me tell you the differences, and we're going to start with this one. Let's first start. Excuse me, I read the wrong thing. Let's start with the first and less obvious that people seem to forget: giving to the community. Have people noticed that Spirit Halloween comes into a town late August, early September to set up shop, and then by the first week of November they are gone without a trace? And in that short period of time that they are here, do they give anything back to the community? I can answer that with absolutely not. All Spirit Halloween does is comes into town, takes your money, and leaves. They might as well be considered a prostitute because while you may have fun with them the short time they are around and get your jollies, once you leave that money on the nightstand and they take it, they are gone, never to be seen again until the next time they know you need some fun in your life. And in the process, they take business away from the ones that have been here for you since the beginning, the ones who have been going out of their way to get you amazing products.
Like good old Pearl.
And this locally owned shop that has been there for your Halloween needs from the beginning also gives back to you. A small example of the many things that they do for the community to give back is my work provides a big Halloween-themed event that is free to the public that involves games, prizes, costume contests, activities, and so on to try and bring the community together and have fun, and is a small token of gratitude for your business. Does Spirit Halloween do that for the community? Hell no. That would involve them spending some of the money that they take from you to give something nice in return. Why would they do that? They don't give a crap about you or your family. All they care about is what is in your wallet and bank accounts. Now, after reading that, gentlemen, what are your thoughts with that?
You know, I am on the cusp of being one of those people like, oh man, like I love that place, like, but I didn't spend enough there. Not saying that like it was only my money that kind of mattered, but it's everybody's contributions. Like I love going into your work, but it's more of a matter of, do I need something? Because the amount that's in my wallet is usually important. Well, I guess it's always important. I mean, because I got to buy diapers before I buy another art journal, book, sketch pad, whatever you want to call it.
Could be the same thing.
Yeah.
Could use the diapers as a sketch pad.
They open.
Disposable one.
Yeah. You use them. You got different varieties of ink.
Then you can see what people really thinks about your art.
It looks like shit. It is shit.
So yours is basically your financial budget that you have. That's kind of. But then again, like there's certain things they don't carry as much. I mean, like Mangelson's carries 2 blocks north of the 84th exit. They carry a lot of assorted items. Very specific, not necessarily my preferred brands or picks, I guess. I like to customize things quite often, though they do have things that allow you to do so, such as certain crafting type of things, and I've always been big into like crafting. Lately I've been big into like leather stuff. I made this, but... Spoken like a true dominatrix.
Thank you. I have a sound for that, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, and it is sad to see certain things, especially in like you were saying, today's climate where things have to shut down, but they can't survive being shut down that long. They need that money, and luckily your place of business has survived well enough, better than some of the ones that can't open back up.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's a miracle we're still around in 2020. With everything going on in this world.
Right. Well, in the downfall, like what makes you unique and what makes Mangelson's great for actual haunters and for people who do haunted houses and transvestite men and women, it's your products are amazing. You are the department, so you will order the right things. And it's hard for the average person who's just like, I'm going to go I need some white face paint to walk in and see, oh, shit, that's expensive. And that's what hurts the ma and pop business, because ma and pop business they order their own stuff, so they're not going to order shit.
Right. It's like they got the clientele that knows their products, whereas if you walk into Walmart and they're like, well, that's just the makeup section.
Yeah, that's what Walmart. Our distributor sent us 8,000 of this white makeup.
Paint.
Do you want the white or do you want the off-white? Well, no, you're gonna order the best you can order with your budget, and people appreciate that. But someone's like, I want to be JoJo C for Halloween or whatever the fuck her name is.
JoJo Sua
are going to come in and see the best quality costume they can get, but it's $10 more than Spirit Halloween, so they're going to go, oh, let's get this other one that's going to rip 10 minutes into their Halloween.
So with you saying that, I had another small little thing I was going to read, but I'm going to skip ahead because that leads right into this. It's going to touch a little bit more and in depth so that somebody that necessarily hasn't worked retail or hasn't worked a mom and pop store can get an idea of what this is like. And again, I'm giving an example of Spirit Halloween and the department I work at. Again, the store I work at, it's a variety store, but each individual department suffers these same struggles with competing corporate businesses.
Like the Dick's and the Michaels and stuff. And
yes.
You're right. Absolutely.
So pricing is the next topic. This is an easy example to explain how buying is with a small mom and pop store and a corporate business such as Spirit Halloween. Say the hot costume this year is going to be Sonic from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie that recently came out. Knowing our clientele and the fact that our foot traffic is lower because Spirit Halloween takes a lot of business away from us, it is hard for a locally owned small shop to order. You don't want to order too little because you don't want to be sold out of a costume before October even gets here. But you don't want to order too many because who knows how much business a Spirit Halloween will steal away from you. Unfortunately, the decision usually is made to order a smaller amount, and if it sells out, put in a reorder in the hopes that the company you are ordering from will fulfill your order before it is too late, knowing you are low on the totem pole as a priority. Keeping in mind that we are one store. So say we order a 12 of a costume, and I am making up these prices, just so you know, and that costume costs $5 each. Well, to cover shipping costs and other costs in order to make a profit off of it, to make it worth our while, we have to charge $12 for that costume. Spirit Halloween orders that same costume that costs us $5 each, but since they are ordering for hundreds of stores, they order a couple pallets of these costumes. Now they get a discount because they are ordering mass quantity of this costume, and they get it for $3 each. So they can do one of two things. They can either A, sell it for $9 and still make a profit off of it, or B, they can sell it for $12 or sometimes even more and make a huge profit off of it, knowing that smaller stores have to pay more. Now, you as the consumer sees that they are selling it for $3 less than the small shop is selling it for. So you buy from Spirit Halloween, while in your head you say to yourself, God, why is that small locally owned shop so damn expensive? Well, we have to mark it up because we have to buy it for more, and if we match their price, we'd be losing money, and in the long run, and that is and in the long run would be what puts us out of business. And here's the sad thing. A lot of times Spirit Halloween marks their stuff up 3 times what they paid for it, and don't need to do that at all. They can mark it cheaper and still make a big profit off of it, but your best interest as a consumer is not what they care about. It's all about money and getting as much of it from you as possible. So next time you are at a small locally owned shop and think the prices are high, this is why. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, that's how businesses, that markup, and it's as shitty as it sounds, if you've never worked in retail or never worked on, especially the back end of retail, seeing that markup price on items can be as little as 4 to 5% or as big as 96%. Like, I used to manage a Radio Shack, and battery markup, I shit you not, a AA battery, or a 4-pack of AA batteries costs you 9 cents to get, 9 cents to buy, and you sell them for $4. That is insanely stupid. Now, granted, it was Radio Shack brand batteries. It wasn't like, it wasn't anything fancy, but just looking at the markup numbers is ridiculous. That's why when you see products like iPods and iPhones, it's always the same, because it's a proprietary number that Apple gives out and says, you have to charge this. When that's why when it's like, you get this iPhone, you get this case, and you get this and this, that's how they compete. But with small businesses, yeah, the quantity counts is the thing. It's like buying chicken nuggets. Like, you want 10 chicken nuggets? You pay $4. But you get 20 chicken nuggets, you're only going to pay $6. It's just, how many chicken nuggets can your fat ass eat?
One time I was so high, I sold my car for 3 chicken McNuggets.
I got a real car now. No, I'm proud to drive through the drive-thru now.
By no fault of, we'll stick on Mangelson's here. By no fault of Mangelson's, it's really hard to stay afloat because, well, first off, it's their location. Not that it mattered 15 years ago or so. How long have they been in business, by the way?
Since 1961.
61. Good God.
Almost 60 years next year.
But since then, like, so much stuff has set up shop around them. So it's kind of, in a sense, smothering them. We didn't have Walmarts 20 years ago here.
Well, actually, a lot of things had set up, but a lot of things are closing down over in that area now, too.
Right.
I mean, we've had, we had Joann Fabrics next to us for the longest time. They went out of business a couple years ago. Now it's partially Dollar Tree or Dollar General moved into to part of it. I mean, you had Shopko across the street. They closed down. There was a pharmacy next to us that closed down. CrossFit places moved in since then. But all these businesses that have been around for a long time are closing down. Mangelson's is literally like one of the last remaining old school businesses.
You guys in Tom Kelly's there.
When you're and they're hurting too. Actually.
When you're in the heart of like all these, the bigger name, the Walmarts, the Targets, it's hard to stay afloat since they're just kind of taking all the business right around you. It's the gas station that opens up across from the other gas station. It's like, okay.
Well, and that is, too, like another thing about that small paragraph I was going to talk about is they purposely have people that study areas and they look for, like, costume shops or Halloween-type shops, and they try to find the closest open, vacant building possible so that they can, A, steal traffic and business from you because people are going to see your big orange, neon orange and neon yellow Spirit Halloween sign, and yes, they do that on purpose to grab your attention.
With the cleavage on the post.
Yes, and
they don't do that.
We know this for a fact because over the years, with all these vacant buildings around my work, it's the same landlord, and they have had Spirit call them and say they want this location, and the landlord will be like, well, why do you want that location? And it's like, because there's a Halloween shop there. And luckily the landlords have turned them down because out of courtesy and for the long time. Yeah, respect. Yeah. But it's just like that shows you the type of people that Spirit are. They're assholes. And they are purposely trying to run out these small businesses. And that's the biggest point to drive across that people need to understand is like, yeah, it's cool to go to these places and all. And I'm not saying I've never been in the Spirit Halloween, but when you think that's the only option just because they might be cheaper, you're hurting these small places that have been around, and it's like they are going to go out of business. And I hate saying this, but you are going to be part of that reason why they go out of business. You need to find out if it's more important to you to save a little extra money, then by all means do it. But don't be one of those people that post about like how upset you are that your childhood store closed down, blah, 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 blah. You have no right to say that because you are what's forcing this business to shut down. And it's, to hear comments from people, I mean, I've been doing this for almost 15 years now, and to hear these people that come in the store and like, especially if I'm in the back room working on something and they don't see me, and to hear the things they say, like, oh my God, it's that much for a mask. I can get the same thing from Spirit for $10 cheaper. Yes. But what I'm explaining to you is why it's so much cheaper. And it's a struggle. It really is a struggle for small, locally owned businesses to be thriving. I mean, it's
like you can get it from here for year round instead of
That's exactly. It's like, so you want to shop Spirit Halloween? That's fantastic. These people love coming into the store too in the off season, if maybe not to buy nothing, if nothing else, to look around, because it brings back memories to them, and it's just like, oh, that's
usually what I do.
It's the middle of
plus the popcorn.
Yeah, it's the middle of winter, or it's springtime, but I can walk into this store and I can walk to a Halloween department and get that feel of Halloween. And we have a year-round Christmas department too, so it's like if you're super into Christmas and it's the off season, you can still walk in there, and it's the thing with the store is like you get so many emotions that run through you walking through it, and memories too, because it's been around so long. But it's not going to be there for you if you continue to not really appreciate locally owned and shop locally, because we can't compete with these big corporations, and we can admit that. It's been, not that the store, like, I don't foresee my store closing down anytime soon that I work at, but it has been an uphill battle for a long time there. And, there's water, you're trying to scoop out as much water as you can. And it's just like, you do your best when you do things. And like, I forget which one of you said this, but it's like, when you go to like these locally owned places, you're dealing with people that specialize in these areas. And I know the needs of the clientele and the time of the year where it's like, okay, this is when they're going to, like the face painters. I know come end of March, I need to start carrying more face painting supplies, because I know carnivals and fairs are right around the corner.
Do you got any fire sticks?
No. But it's just like, I know, and ordering over the years, I know what they want. Like, I know that they prefer beechberry red over the red color. And so it's just like, I order more of that beechberry. Whereas you go to like a Walmart or someplace like that, I mean, the person that's running it and selling it, they know shit about it.
They just stock it.
They just stock it, and it's just like, you ask them a question, it's just like, oh, and they read the back of the package. It's like, well, I could have done that. But whereas when you come to my work, no matter what department you go through, those people have experience in that area, and they know the product. They're willing to teach you. They're willing to order it for you. Yeah, anybody listening to this, Stacy, my sister, this is my challenge to you. I want you this Halloween to go to a Spirit Halloween store, and I want you to have a specific makeup that you want to do on yourself, like whether it's like Beetlejuice or Gene Simmons from Kiss. And I want you to talk to the employees there. And I first want you to see, if you ask them, like, what do you have to make this happen? See if they're knowledgeable. They probably won't even know who the fuck you're talking about. And then see if they're knowledgeable in it. See if they have the product. And I'm telling you right now, any makeup that you get at Spirit Halloween is going to be garbage. And it's going to be expensive too. And then see if they can give you tips on how to apply it and make it happen. Because I guarantee you, they're not going to even know how to do it. And B, they're not going to care to show you the time to do it, because all they're taught is time is money. So the more people you can help, the more money you can make. And you bring that up, Justin, about it makes me break out. If you said that to them, they'd be like, okay. Whereas me, I know, and I teach my employees, if somebody has sensitive skin and they break out, I know the alternatives. I know the products that you can use to help prevent it. And we will teach them that, and we will even show them. I mean, you should see my arm at Halloween time. It's different colors because I'm showing people how they can do these effects that they want to do.
For those with a fairer complexion or oily skin.
You will not get that shit anywhere else except for a locally owned business, because they actually care.
Right. I leave there and I feel like more of a beautiful woman from when I went in. So
you go there you leave there after eating about 13 bags of popcorn.
Oh, right? This is true, but
you make yourself down the line. You stop it.
When I go into
stop at Denny's, then you go to Adam and Eve, and they eat again at the farmhouse. If you were at Jeremy, that's how it works.
Oh God!
You go to the porn store, then you eat again.
I've eaten over the last 15 years. I've ate at Farmhouse so much. Like their last renovation, I guarantee you, was probably funded by me. But so
they do have good burgers.
I can't eat those anymore.
The cinnamon rolls. Fuck. If you're gonna go,
I think that's all I had.
Farmhouse.
If I could
cinnamon rolls.
If I could suggest one thing on the Farmhouse menu that is like, excelente.
What the fuck?
Baba the Boopy?
The Pesto Club is the best thing on their menu. And I can't. The Pesto Club, coming to Farmhouse Cafe, 84th and Grover.
That sounds more Borat.
Okay, so I'm going to read this last part here since we're over the 2-hour mark now. Whew. So what happens?
Only 2 hours.
Yeah,
we got another hour.
Yeah, it's true. This was Justin's episode. We'd still be on sick.
We'd still be asking, what's an archetype?
I still don't know. We're going to hear shit about that one for a while.
You guys, I'm very sensitive. You guys are hurting my feelings.
Hey, how's it feel to have the table turn and getting picked on?
The tables do feel like they're turning, dude.
All right. So what happens to any product that doesn't sell at the end of the Halloween season? Well, for Spirit Halloween, they get to send it back. Everything they don't sell they get to send back to these companies. And you can't necessarily blame these distributors because they get a huge sale from Spirit Halloween. But what about the small local businesses? What do they get to do with the product that doesn't sell? Well, unfortunately, we don't spend enough with these companies to where they will say, yeah, send it back if it doesn't sell. Unfortunately, we are stuck with it. Now, with my work, we keep Halloween stuff out year-round. There are enough theme parties and plays that utilize a lot of this stuff, but people expect our Halloween stuff to be at least 50% off after Halloween is over. Yes, we do run a 50% off sale a week after Halloween is over, but with 50% off, we lose a lot of money that way. But we want to be able to give our customers a deal and something to be excited for. But if we were to sell our stuff for 50% off all year long after and before Halloween, we would quickly be out of business. So, that's another question I get asked a lot when people come into the prop room in the off season and they want to buy stuff. There's like, so is this on sale? No. Why? It's not Halloween. Yes, because we are that specialty store that has Halloween stuff year round, and we know that there's people people nowadays, a themed party is very, what's the word I'm looking for? It happens quite often. Frequent, yes, thank you. And I mean, again, our markups aren't that high as it is, and like 50% off, we lose a lot of money when we have this 50% off, and we don't want to do that thing where we mark it up, which some company like Spirit does that sometimes, where
Party City,
it'll be $30 the whole season, and then if they have the 50% off, they'll bump it up to like $35, $40 so that they're still making money off of it. We don't want to do that. So that is kind of how I can explain why our stuff is not on sale. And again, it makes ordering scary in that way too, because if it doesn't sell, and this year especially with the CDC saying they don't want people to really celebrate Halloween, all those, we kind of tried to order light this year with the whole COVID thing with costumes and stuff, but they could shut us down at any time. People may not celebrate because of the CDC. So it's like people need to understand too that these small locally owned businesses don't get to send their stuff back, and they're stuck with everything, unlike corporations who can probably send stuff back. So I don't know, Lonnie, if you had much experience in that area when you were working like retail.
Not really with Halloween. My retail experience is mostly like comic book stores, and I worked at Walmart for like 3 weeks in the electronics department, and then I managed Radio Shack. That's pretty much my experience in retail.
Justin, have you ever worked?
No,
retail.
I never worked.
That's something I say a lot too. Is I think a lot of people need to work retail at least a couple years in their life, because retail workers get treated like shit.
I've always
worked fucking garbage.
Hard labor. I always worked man jobs.
Is that why you're regressing?
Yeah. Wait, what?
You've always worked man jobs, but yet, But yet your wife can beat you up.
She can't.
She can. Your wife is scary.
It's only for looks.
She's not scary.
She is scary.
I would.
Your daughters are adorable. I really want to tell the story, but I'm not going to.
Just do it.
No, you do it.
If
we talk about your kids, it's awkward. If you tell it, it's
it
awkward.
It already is awkward. I'm uncomfortable, and you haven't even told the story.
Palms are sweaty. Mom's spaghetti.
Last thing I'm just going to say, I wrote some stuff down, but it's like you have to ask yourself as a consumer, is it worth saving some extra money to shop at these other places, or do you want to support local and pay maybe just a little bit more? I think this pandemic has opened up some people's eyes to shopping locally and supporting it because they're seeing that a lot of places that did shut down didn't open back up. And I think that it was a rude awakening for a lot of people. So, yeah, that's my rant for that.
You know what Mingelsons should do? Do they do like a what do you call it? Pickup orders?
Curbside? Yeah, we started doing that when
delivery.
We slowly reopened.
Maybe they should go to other Spirit Halloween and say you have maybe a certain expertise. Have them pay you for protection. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out ideas here.
You're being way too Italian right now. I'm kind of uncomfortable.
He is.
The Jew in me is getting frightened.
You manage the money if you want.
He's getting out his Olive Garden coupons.
Whoa.
Oy vey.
No. We do balloon deliveries.
Balloon?
Balloon?
I shouldn't say we. I do balloon deliveries.
and his car can only take 3 at a time.
No, I get to drive the big van, but the thing is, in the summertime, we can't deliver in that big van because there's no AC in the back of it, and the heat will cause them to expand and pop, and so it's just
it's the only place around with helium because helium is
it's going out. That's a topic for another time. Helium is going extinct, ladies and gentlemen. So next time you think you need to have your kid's birthday party filled with helium balloons all over the place, keep in mind that in 20 years maybe, we're not going to have helium, and we need helium to help run MRI machines at the hospital and other machines at the hospital. And so they're trying to work on ways to keep, because it cools the machines, and they're trying to work on ways because it's inevitable. It's going to happen.
I was thinking of a fun game until you brought up that
helium
healing shit. I was going to say we needed to fill the van up with helium balloons, and that could be a challenge. Just get in the van and drive, and whenever a balloon popped, the first one to flinch.
What's the worst that can happen?
Gets a point. Whoever has the least amount of points wins. Like golf.
And what's that one movie where you have to go a certain speed, and if it goes below a certain speed, the bus would blow up because of the speed?
Powder.
Powder.
There's a few inside jokes here.
Well, gentlemen, before we sign off here,
what are we doing next show?
Our next episode is episode 10. And so for episode,
no one can hear that.
So for episode 10, I have set something up where we're going to go on location. It'll kind of be like Justin said, it'll be a video. Not exactly sure how we're going to do it, but boys, we're going to meet up with my good friend Benito Garcia.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
And he is going to teach us how to play Dungeons and Dragons. And his, I don't know what you'd call it, a lair or whatever, but his whole basement he's got digital maps. It's going to be crazy. He ordered specific special dice for each of us to have. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to learn Dungeons and Dragons, probably get addicted to it. Michael's going to go with us, so you'll get to see Michael on camera for the first time.
Or on the camera?
Yes. So boys, that's going to be my gift to you guys for 10 episodes. We're going to have some fun.
I'm going to dress up.
And
I'll wear a cloak.
Do it. So for myself,
cloak.
Lonnie, and Justin, we thank you for listening. We thank you for the support. like, share,
Subscribe.
get us subscribe, get us some more listeners, and we will see you next time.
Boom. Stay tuned on the 12th.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Join us next time for more absurdity that only the guys from the Boundless PodTrap can bring you.